Hi, I'm a maid. If I could be anything, I'd be a nurse.
Imagine powerful, imagine comical, imagine magical. Can you imagine that?
Hi, I'm a May. If I could be anything, I'd be a nurse. I would take care of people who are sick or injured. They would be my patients. If I was a nurse, I would wear scrubs. That's what you call the uniform that nurses wear. Mine would be purple. Sometimes I'd work in a huge hospital with doctors and a whole bunch of nurses. We would work as a team, a superhero team, to help make people better. When someone isn't feeling well or gets hurt, they come to the hospital. They would get to see me first. I would ask questions to know what happened. I would do some easy tests, like taking their temperature. Say, ah, so I can check if you have a fever. As a nurse, I would be really good at making my patients feel comfortable. Because being sick or hurt isn't any fun. As a super nurse, I would have a super partner to make my job super fun. Squiggles, my giant cuddly teddy bear, would give my patients the giggles. I would want to be a pediatric nurse. That's a nurse who helps kids and babies. I would check up on the newborn babies who are really tiny. They would have to stay in the hospital a little longer until they grow just a little bit more. I would take good care of them, like when I helped my mom when my sister was a baby. I would be the most fun nurse. I would keep kids happy and laughing while they wait to do their tests or x-rays. We're looking at your funny bone, Squiggles. Or I could be a nurse in the operating room, helping the surgeon. She's the doctor that does all the operations. I'd hand the doctor all the tools she needs, and then I'd check on the patient. There you go, Mrs. Clock. All better now. As a nurse, I would visit schools and remind kids about how to stay healthy. Squiggles and I would teach kids to always wash their hands or sneeze into their elbow so we don't spread germs. Careful, Squiggles. That's where your funny bone is. The best part of being a nurse is showing my patients how brave they are. Okay, Mr. Giant, time for your shot. This is medicine that will help keep you from getting sick. Even giants are sometimes afraid. There, all done. You did it. I love being able to help people.
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know, did you know, did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that, think of something new, and you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want, it's really up to you. Ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da. Can you imagine that?
I'm a maid. I'm a nurse. Imagine that.
Hi, I'm Cyrus. If I could be anything, I would be a museum curator.
Imagine powerful, imagine comical, imagine magical. Can you imagine that?
Hi, I'm Cyrus. If I could be anything, I would be a museum curator. I would collect cool things from all around the world and place them in my museum. A museum is a building that holds all sorts of things from all over the world and from a long, long time ago. Some of this stuff is so old that it's called prehistoric. Prehistoric means super old. In my museum, I would show kids how cavemen lived in prehistoric times, how they cooked their meals over fires because there was no microwaves long ago. I would have displays that will show how prehistoric kids used rocks and cave walls for their art. Some of the cave wall art shows drawings of horses and deer. If I were a museum curator, I would love to build scenes in my museum that would show visitors what it was like to live a long, long time ago. Like how a knight would live. I would even pretend to be one. I would have a castle. Knights worked in castles. They protected their king and queen and all the people who lived in the village. The castle would have a busy village around it. My scene of a village market would show how people worked and shopped for their food. Whoa, noisy pigs and chickens everywhere! Oink, 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 cock-a-doodle-doo. And I would have another scene where you could visit the blacksmith. He used fire and a heavy hammer to make things out of metal, like horseshoes and gates, and the knight's suit of armor. Knights wear suits of armor. Their armor was super heavy. But my favorite scene to visit would be my knights tournament, where knights train and test each other in games like jousting. Wow! It would have been hard work to be a knight. I would even have a transportation museum and show all the different ways people traveled from a long time ago all the way to today. There would be horses, of course, and early cars where you would have to turn a crank to get it to go. And trains! Even the first kinds of airplanes. Neat! Today we have things like hovercrafts. A hovercraft is a boat that moves on top of the water by blowing air underneath it. It can even float on land too. Cool! I love collecting coins, so I could create my very own coin museum. I could display and share with visitors all my coins from around the world. Some coins would have pictures of kings and queens from a long time ago. They would be very rare. That means not many of these coins can be found in the world. Everybody would love visiting my different museums.
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that, think of something new. And you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want is really up to you.
I'm Cyrus and I'm a museum curator. Imagine that!
I could be anything, I would be a comic book artist.
Imagine powerful, imagine comical, imagine magical. Can you imagine that?
Hi, I'm Owen. If I could be anything, I would be a comic book artist. I would write and draw comic books. Comic books are stories with both pictures and words. As a comic book artist, I would use my imagination to help draw the story. As a comic book artist, all stories need characters. People or creatures in the story. I would think of awesome characters. Like a silly dinosaur named Rexy. I would draw him with big googly eyes. Roar! And I would draw his superhero friend, a monkey named Leo, who could fly. In comic books, the words characters are speaking are written in thought bubbles above their heads. Even action words like crash, bang, and pow are included with the character's actions. Crash, bang, pow! It's like you can feel what's happening in the story. In comic books, all the parts of the story are found in different little boxes on each page. As a comic book artist, I would draw my characters doing something superhero-like inside each of the boxes. Like Rexy having a tea party. Zoom! Rexy's superhero monkey friend Leo zooms in to join him. Then it would put boxes beside each other, and it tells a story. Dino Rexy loves to drink tea. He invites his superhero monkey friend Leo over. Suddenly, I join in too. Sometimes I would just draw in black and white. And sometimes it would make my pictures all colorful. As a comic book artist, I would also draw the setting. That's the place where my story happens. I would put the characters in settings like a secret hideout in the jungle, or even on the moon. There would be lots of action in my story as Rexy and Leo travel through space. Watch out for that asteroid! Duck! My heroes are never late for a tea party. If I were a comic book artist, I would write and draw exciting stories that everyone would want to read. My comic books would be super popular. They would be in bookstores and libraries all over the world.
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that, think of something new. And you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want is really up to you.
I'm Owen and I'm a comic book artist. Imagine that.
Trevor. If I could be anything, I'd be a geologist.
Imagine powerful, imagine comical, imagine magical. Can you imagine that?
Hi, I'm Trevor. If I could be anything, I'd be a geologist. A geologist is someone who explores what Earth is made of. As a geologist, I would get to work outside and explore rocks from all over the world. Every rock is different. Some are all one color and some of many colors. They're all made up of different material. Material is all the bits and pieces that form the rock. I love collecting rocks. I would have the biggest rock collection ever. Geologists called mountains and valleys landscapes. I would learn how they were formed a long, long time ago. I would get to travel all over the world. I would explore all the rocks on the very tip of the highest mountain, Mount Everest. Echo, 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 echo. Or I would explore rocks in a deep, dry valley. Whoa. I would love learning about landscapes around rivers and lakes. Wow! Rocks were made into amazing formations. That means shapes. Part of my job as a geologist would be to learn about wild events, like floods and volcanoes. All the things that happen to make Earth look like it does today. Volcanoes are amazing and dangerous. When they erupt, they shoot out ash and lava. Whoa! I would know so much about the Earth that I would create maps that show where dangerous volcanoes might erupt one day. This way, I would help communities know the safest place to build their home and ice cream shops. It would be amazing to live near a volcano. I would feel proud knowing I helped keep people safe. As a geologist, I would have the biggest rock collection ever. Sometimes I would work in a lab. I would study rocks under a microscope. A microscope would let me see really close into the rock. I would be able to see the little bubbles in the rock and shiny sparkly bits. Every rock is different. Different colors and made up of different materials. A geologist would be looking for important materials inside the rock. We use different materials every day. The sidewalks we walk on and the houses we live in have different materials that come from rocks. Even my pencil, the lead in it that lets me write, comes from rocks. And all kinds of materials from different rocks are used to make my cell phone. Boop beep boop 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 beep boop boop bring bring. Cool. Hi, Mom. Guess what I found? Shiny, sparkly bits inside the rocks. I found silver and gold. It would be amazing to find different colored gems and even diamonds. When no one is looking, the rocks and I like to listen to rock and roll. I love being a geologist.
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that, think of something new. And you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want is really up to you. You imagine that.
I'm Trevor and I'm a geologist. Imagine that.
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that. Think of something new, and you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want, it's really up to you. Ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba da. Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that. Think of something new, and you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want is really up to you. Can you imagine being anything you want to be? Can you imagine there's a world full of fantasy? And if you think about it lots, it becomes so real. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know that you can do anything you want to do? Imagine this or that. Think of something new, and you can always change a thing or two. Anything you want is really up to you. You imagine that.
Yes.
Can you imagine